The bell above the diner door jingled softly, but Sarah barely noticed. Her feet ached, her back screamed, and her hands trembled from exhaustion. The 12-hour shifts were slowly wearing her down, but she pushed through it every day, with a polite smile and a flicker of hope buried deep behind tired eyes. As a single mother working 2 jobs, Sarah had mastered the art of pretending everything was okay, even when her rent was overdue and the pantry was nearly bare. The diner was nearly empty that rainy Wednesday afternoon. The usual coffee drinkers had already shuffled out, leaving behind the scent of burnt espresso and old newspapers. That's when he walked in. An older man in a soaked trench coat, eyes sunken, beard unshaven. He looked like he hadn't had a proper meal in days. Sarah's heart clenched. She recognized that kind of hunger, not just for food but for dignity. He slid into a booth quietly, not meeting her eyes. Sarah approached, her notepad ready, but he shook his head. "Just coffee," he murmured. "If that's okay." She nodded, poured him a steaming cup, and set it gently in front of him. As she walked away, she noticed his hands trembling as he lifted the cup. Something inside her twisted. She'd been on the other end before, choosing between gas or groceries, hoping her kid didn't notice when she skipped meals. She glanced at the register, then at the man again, and made a decision. When he eventually stood up to leave, he reached into his coat and pulled out a few coins, apologizing softly. I know it's not enough." Sarah stopped him. "Don't worry about it," she said, forcing a smile. "Lunch is on me." His eyes widened. "Why would you?" She shrugged. "Sometimes we all just need a little kindness." He stared at her for a moment, as if memorizing her face. Then, without another word, he nodded and stepped back into the rain. Days passed. Sarah forgot about the encounter. Not because it didn't matter, but because that's what kindness is. You give without expecting anything in return. Her focus shifted back to rent notices, her daughter's school shoes that were falling apart, and the mountain of unpaid bills on her kitchen table. The weight of the world kept pressing down. Then, on Saturday afternoon, the diner bell jingled again. Sarah looked up from wiping a table and froze. The man from the other day had returned, but this time he was wearing a suit, clean-shaven, hair combed back, a completely different person. She almost didn't recognize him. In his hand, he carried a white envelope. "Excuse me?" he said, his voice warm now. "Are you the one who paid for my meal a few days ago?" She nodded cautiously. "Yeah."
That was me.
He smiled. "I didn't get the chance to properly thank you." She waved it off. "It's no big deal." But it was. He insisted, stepping closer. "You didn't know me. I could have been anyone." "But you treated me with kindness when I had nothing. That means something." Sarah blinked, unsure what to say. "I was at the lowest point of my life," he continued. "I had just lost everything. My wife, my business, my home. I came here ready to give up. Your gesture that day changed something in me. It reminded me that there are still good people out there." He handed her the envelope. "What's this?" she asked. "Open it." Inside was a check. Sarah's jaw dropped. 50,000. She stared at him speechless. "I got my life back on track," he explained. "An old friend helped me restart my consulting business. We just landed a major client, and when that happened, I thought of you. You reminded me of who I used to be. Kind, human. Real? This is my way of saying thank you." Your tears welled up in Sarah's eyes. I can't take this. You can, and you will, he said gently. Because sometimes the smallest act of kindness ripples in ways you'll never understand. She stood frozen, overwhelmed, the check trembling in her hand. In her mind, she saw her daughter in new shoes, groceries filling the pantry, and for once, rent paid on time. Hope bloomed again, this time real, solid, and life-changing. Before he left, he paused. Never underestimate the power of kindness. You changed my life. Let me change yours. As he disappeared out the door, Sarah clutched the check to her chest, her tears falling freely now, not from pain, but from the unfamiliar feeling of possibility. She turned and looked around the diner, still the same worn-out booths and buzzing lights, but now it felt different, warmer, brighter. One simple gesture, one powerful return. Sometimes, miracles don't come wrapped in lightning or thunder. Sometimes, they walk in from the rain and sit quietly in the corner. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe to our channel, hit that like button, and drop a in the comments if you believe in kindness. Your support helps us bring more inspiring stories like this to the world.